When I was flown to Hustler magazine's owner, Larry Flint, his home in Bel Air at the time on St. Cloud, October, I was flown there twice in '83 during a political campaign, and he was helping me in the campaign. He also wrote me up in April, issue 1984, and he tells here where I knew who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I did a medical malpractice book, and I was living in Marietta, a few miles away in Cobb County. And this is just where he puts that I knew who was responsible for his shooting, March the 6th of '78. He mentions Larry McDonald, who I had written about, the U.S. Congressman, House of Representatives from Marietta, and he was a doctor at, well, he was from Atlanta, and he worked at Piedmont Hospital there, urologist, and I wrote of deaths there, Mindcontrol, deaths of Warren, Rosina Matthews, etc. He also, they were forensic pathologists, and the person who shot them was under mind control, and anyway, first thing he said to me, Mr. Flynn, I'd never met him, I knew the person that shot him was programmed. I'm sorry I'm showing all my bedroom and all this, but I'm tired and I can hardly see now. I'm having trouble with my eyes. And I've been telling this, trying to get my name back and telling about the mind control murders, and I've got nothing but hell out of it. Sheer hell. I would like my name back, Windsor, and to clean it up from the thugs that helped steal it and bring me to Moulton, Alabama, and give me, this is my father, Edward VIII. King. His own brother took him down. I put this on all the others in Facebook. Helped take him down with the Kennedys, Joe Kennedy, and the New World Order, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, the Freemasons. It's in power now, global Illuminati. They gave me the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I've shown this. That's the name I still have to use. Dates were just marked through and all that on them. And Carl was the twin, both of them dead. Now then, let me get back if I can, because I've been doing this and it's getting me nowhere. First thing when I was introduced to Mr. Flint in '83 was that he said to me, when I went in to the library where he was, he said, you don't have to tell me anything about yourself. I already know everything there is to know. And he said they were going to send you back a vegetable. Well, at the time I didn't know what he meant back. I now know he meant back to England, a vegetable, where they kidnapped me from. One big joke. Henry Kissinger played a part in the ongoing hell that were going to lobotomize me, Watergate, all this. I mean, it's been one step after the other in hell. And the Brits are the ones, and the Germans, some of my German relatives, they even came here where I was living on the Appalachian Trail, and they were using names that fits into all this, Mike Dempsey. And I thank them, and I hope that they haven't had any repercussions for trying to help. And it was Dave Kirby and Dominic Young. And this is where they were. I was up on the Appalachian Trail, starving and freezing, not too far away, and downtown Roanoke. They were having limos at the Hotel Roanoke, really the nice one here. Had Diana's, she had died. And by the way, she died 10 years after Larry McDonald plane went down, U.S. Congressman. That's why I was out at Flint's. But, you know, what can I say? The limos were there because they were showing her gowns. And I'm the real monarch, and I'm on the Appalachian Trail freezing and walking up and down the side of the road. So anyway, where I'm going with this, I don't know. I've got eye problems now that are really bad. I am in bad health. And I'm listening to all that's going on, and there's mind control. I've told that about patterns, and they were deliberately done by an agency here in the United States. And if you don't get it, nobody wants to tackle them. They're afraid because, hey, everybody has something to hide. So you know who I'm telling you who did it, and I'm not too sure that they're it's the people here in this country that allowed it to happen. They wanted me dead. They helped. You support this government that helped kidnap me, helped steal everything from Great Britain, and this has been ongoing that I've been telling about it, and they just want me dead. So I'm going to jump to this. The Dempsey name that they gave me, the name of the twin, both of them were dead, but they gave me that name, stole my identity. I'm Victoria II, heir to the British Crown. They put a 99-year seal on my dad, King Edward VIII's takedown, and this will go off if I'm not. Anyway, they kidnapped me in 41, brought me to Alabama, gave me the name of a twin, last name Dempsey. When have you? This is all involved the patterns and synchronicity and dates, times. It's like instant messaging. So I want to ask you, how many times in the past have you heard the name Dempsey that was really up there other than Patrick Dempsey? And I believe he's the father of twins. And I want to use the asterisk on twins. Now then, you got the Army General, and I mean, you should Wikipedia him. He's got all kinds of awards and all this titles. Martin E. Dempsey. White House chief of, anyway, you can Google it. He's been in the press all the time lately about the wars and all this. And then you've got what's going on now with the White House. You've got Gonzalez, and that name is very important, who was really the only one that's really got in the White House, jumped the fence, and that just happened. And now then they got the Secret Service. She just left, who was over the director. Her last name was Pierson, Julia Pierson. And that goes back to Gonzalez, the name of the doctor that had the gag put on a suit filed. He was a doctor. He was at Parkland when John Kennedy was shot. But then John Kennedy and his dad helped kidnap me, which doesn't seem to bother anybody. But anyway, the Gonzalez has come into play, and the Pierson was the name of the woman on April Fool's Day. Her and her buddies, they worked for doctors, by the way. Her family did in Atlanta. They put antifreeze in me April Fool's Day of 80, and I should have died. So then I'm going to fast forward to after I left the book at Reagan's, logged it in at the White House. I'm back in Atlanta trying to get a divorce enforced so I could have money. My jobs had been gotten to, and I'm on the street. And I went there to Cobb County Police, and they took me in the back and told me to fill out a paper. And when I did, they said, do you know for sure that this is your name and your color of your eyes, are they really blue, and et cetera, et cetera. And I thought that was odd. And then in walked the Secret Service, Agent Tom Cox and Phil Call. Now, I may have the Phil and the Cox reversed, but that was their names. They were nice to me, but then I walk out the door on the street, and I'm back spending the night. And this is where, I'm just going to say this, I was on the street, and this is where the Lois Pierson comes back in right after I left the Secret Service. And she's the one that tried to put she didn't try to put the antifreeze in me, and I should have died. I mean, it was hell, April of 80. And if this sounds like rambling, you cannot imagine, I don't even know where my sons are. And by the way, she just resigned, this Pierson that was director of the Secret Service, and Congress is criticizing her and the Secret Service, and they need an overhaul because someone got into the White House and could have attacked the president. I've told you who I am. You have done nothing, and you talk about overhaul. How dare you